talking. Oh, it certainly is. I've seen my fair share of situations like this.
Ну
and
да.
brute force methods are
Ну зато как
certainly one way
затягивает,
of
хоть
resolving them.
интересно.
Fortunately, I have far more.
Well then, since you're so experienced in dealing with problems like...
Oh, that won't be a problem. But first...
Huh? Does there have to be a contract for
Там можно
every...
хоть
Feels
что-то
like
наполазить, в
These are my
открытом
formal
мире,
terms of
пособирать
engagement.
всякие
Everything prior to now has just been pro bono advice. But for me to investigate any further, I require a written contract. Any work commissioned but not bound by a contract cannot be relied upon.
I understand. Then I will be glad to place this matter into your capable hands if you will take it, Miss Yunfei.
No problem. Just sign here, and I'll sign too. Okay. Now write your address here, and then sign on this page as well. And I'll also need your signatures on pages 5, 7, and on the very last page. Finally, if you could just use this ink pad to make a handprint over here.
This contract has so many pages. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.
All right, that should do it. My fees are the same as always, and they're written in the contract. Have a look through and let me know if you have any questions.
I've had a read through. Everything checks out.
Well then, here's your copy of the contract. I will retain the other copy. Not for now, no. Despite how intractable this problem might sound, it will actually be quite straightforward to resolve, once we've got some things squared away. I don't believe you have been part of an investigation like this before, in which case, hopefully this should be quite the experience.
Miss Yunfei, I have to ask, why are you helping me?
Because, as it happens, I'm currently trying to acquire some Smaragdus Jadeite myself. I noticed strong traces of geoenergy around Mr. Crossel, so perhaps he has, in fact, secured some. Whether he actually made it into an item of jewelry or not is a separate matter, but either way, it's a lead. As long as we follow it, who knows? We might just be able to get our hands on some Smaragdus Jadeite. Also, the idea of someone abusing the law to their advantage, I won't stand for it. But again, let's not dwell on this. Let's go to... where can we find someone who processes ore? Ah, I've got it! Let's pay a visit to Chateau, the boss of the Jade Mystery. He's a professional when it comes to working with stone and ore. If Mr. Crossel had his ore worked on at all, Chateau would undoubtedly have been his first choice.
Книжку какую-то дали.
Ну да, там много дают что.
Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yanfei. Is something the matter? Surely not more spurious claims that my jade betting is rigged and no one can ever win? Oh, I swear on all that is sacred.
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore, claiming that it was Smaragdus Jadeite. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer insists, far be it from me to contradict them. He was quite generous with his money, too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so I kept...
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Это мне надо сейчас чайника это пройти, блядь. И потом откроется рыбалка, походу, блядь.
Ну да.
Так, забрал что-то.
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross
Зеленого
yes,
нефрита что-то
it's not
рассказывает.
particularly rare, nor I've heard it said that smaragdus nephrite is in fact the
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus nephrite is an entirely ordinary ore, containing no elemental energy whatsoever.
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight a shot. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to an astronomical difference in terms of the market price. And, I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them carved into shape.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But, never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossell...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Так, что-то мне дали. Опять с этим гусем могу перепиздеть.
Miss Yanfei? Might I be so bold as to inquire,
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossell did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was in fact smaragdus jadeite, did he not?
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact. Here. It says quite clearly, 1 chunk smaragdus jadeite, uncut.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the,
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again, Miss Yanfei.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident, just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crossell won't dare try to deny what he did.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. We need to find something a little more compelling. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Nope. Aha! Got it! Singsi. She often helps people to find a jewelsmith. Let's go pay her a visit.
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many people?
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And contracts, well, I should say laws, are very important to us. But the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. How can I put this? It just seems like they're hard to understand and impossible to finish. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand and impossible to finish?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal codices.
You memorized them?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading things.
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Singsi.
there time for a quick snack? I'll whip one up in no time.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. I'm just here to ask you a few questions. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yes, he came to me with a chunk of something he called Smaragdus Jadeite. The design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according to his specifications. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Inksy, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material he presented to you that day was called Smaragdus Jadeite?
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Crossel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin Phoenix Pins. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even has the official seal of the ministry on it.
Thank you, Sinksy. Now, could you let me borrow this document?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway. I take it then that there's been some more trouble?
Nothing you need to worry about, just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with it. Thanks again.
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Baiju.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What do you want to speak to him for?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human body. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can wrap this case up.
Join the Adventurers Guild.
Jewelry's out of stock, but we have some new items in.
Да. Пойди туда, возьми то.
Ну, знаешь, иногда так охота спокойно не, потупить, просто полазить, сундуки поискать, то все, идешь туда, сундук, сундук, пошел туда, это какое-нибудь это существо, либо это, я не знаю, это примагемы какие-то.
Прикольно, да. Хоть весело, блядь.
Ну
Чего я
да.
раньше в него не играл, блядь.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure?
Ну,
Though I'm
ты сам
afraid
говоришь,
that if
что
you're
ой, не
looking for
люблю
a
такие
little
игры, а
it
сейчас
isn't
он
Miss Ye-
чуть ли уже не
No,
целыми
I'm
днями
here this
играешь.
Smaragdus
Ну
Jade.
да,
Why,
это аниме
yes,
так
the
как-то.
7 mountain treatises. It is abundant in... Anyway, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official
Мало
affidavit
таких игр,
That
чтоб,
is
знаешь,
indeed
вот
the case.
зацепило,
If you
чтоб
would be
вот
so
знаешь,
kind,
чтоб
Dr.
что-то
Baiju.
пособирать, проходить, пооткрывать. Вот,
No trouble at
шанда
all.
как
It's
раз
just a
такое.
single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one
Более
who's
вещей
developed a
бесплатно. Я думал,
curiosity
DayZ
for
себе как-то
Smaragdus
прикупить.
jadeite recently. A Snezhnayan merchant came
Там
to
вроде
ask me about
выживалка
it
тоже
not long
такая.
ago. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one of
Ты не проходил
remarkable
DayZ?
disappointment.
Не, как-то хотел, но
I
потом не
wonder,
знаю.
Miss Yanfei, if you're pressed...
Ah, you needn't
То
concern
что-то
yourself
Илюха
about that,
купил,
Dr.
я
Baizhu.
спрашиваю, как
Thank you for
там,
penning
как
us
там.
that document.
Да ну
I'll make sure to
нахуй,
compensate you in due
блядь,
course.
выкидает в лес в одних
You're
трусах,
too
пи,
kind.
застудился,
Take care now.
умер. Воды попил с ручья, тоже пизда, короче, говорит. Надо постоянно что-то добывать, огонь разводить. Ну, знаешь,
You guys, it's weird
пока
as
сам не
ever.
попробуешь.
Is it just
то не
pie?
Ну да.
Or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell.
Why do they have to give me that transfer?
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now provide a final figure for the amount payable.
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. According to the stipulations of the contract, Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see your evidence.
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question.
Показать доказательства из загадки нефрита. Показать доказательства из дома министра. Показать доказательства из бу-бу.
This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed by the business owner, Chateau.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store. What am I missing exactly?
That's an unsubstantiated belief.
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated. And we are here to talk about evidence, aren't we?
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all. Seems like he came prepared. What should we do next?
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting more belligerent by the second.
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the hairpins are the real deal after all.
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because I do recall one final piece of evidence that we haven't revealed yet. Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve as decisive proof of our case.
What's this?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster to any mere mortals who touch it. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, in less serious cases, cause a mild malady, while in serious cases, the patient may suffer a dramatic change of personality and fall seriously ill. Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented out such a dangerous item... I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil Affairs. However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient considering that, as you say, you were ignorant of the danger you posed. Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait! I knew.
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's dangerous properties beforehand, why would you...
Huh? No, The hairpins aren't actually
inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite? Is that what you were about to say? You do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora? Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore I had inlaid on those hairpins was Smaragdus nephrite. But I'm a victim in all of this too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus jadeite, in the hopes of turning it into a piece of jewelry that would fetch a fine price. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat a single... I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But how could I let all that money go to waste? That's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is almost indistinguishable from Smaragdus jadeite. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite. I was worried that someone would see...
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must pay Ms. Zerchow 10 times the original price in Mora, and that is final.
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Ms. Zerchow, 20% of that sum will go to me.
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite.
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that much, Mora. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not, I think I owe some compensation for that.
Ms. Zerchow, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider us even.
What? But all right, then. This cursed rock's brought me enough grief as it is.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn this...
Well, that's not
Pokemon,
quite...
блядь.
Thanks so much for your help this time.
Oh, come on.
Да
No
ты
need
чё
to stand
ожидал?
on ceremony. Now, if I may confirm this again, Mr. Chow, have you and Mr. Crossell come to an understanding?
Well, yes, I believe we have.
Well then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further claims against you.
Is that so? That's good.
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ores. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do some fine business between us.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too.
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, even though
the right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather, an Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of
Paimon can think of someone who would definitely...
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit. I bet she's...
Опять бежит туда, потом туда. Это туда-сюда. Охуеть.
Ну, это хорошо.
О, бабулька нахуй, пин.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all the materials we need.
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton...
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your business. Granny should be able to handle the rest.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me directly. Regulars get discounts, too.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot, hmm?
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talking nonsense back in the day when he stood beside... Ah, indeed she is. Liyue has changed, and the Adepti must also learn to change. Yanfei might be over... Ah, Liyue is not the... All right, then. Let us...
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How is it made?
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take long at all. Just wait here for a moment. There we go. This Serenity pot is all yours now. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, oh goodness, who knows what might happen. Take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot a little more lively inside.
Wait a minute, Granny! How exactly are we supposed to use this teapot?
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a certain little helper to await you within this teapot. She will explain everything you need to know about it.
Ну, чайник, чайник.
О!
Бизнес открылся.
Отлично. Можешь теперь строить в нем что хочешь.
Бабуся чайника дала. Чайник, полная чаша, часть вторая. Цель находится. Разместить его, да?
Да.
Войти в чайник. О, можно везде заходить?
Да, почти.
Установить форму убителя, плавучего убителя. Выбрать форму убителя. Это что такое?
Да, там ничего особого.
А можно любую картинку выбирать? Тут есть остров прохлады, изумрудный пик, плавучий
Ну, на
убитель.
начальном уровне тебе пока эти доступны.
А какую лучше? Или это надо по очереди?
Да какую хочешь, на твой вкус и цвет.
Остров прохлады давай.
Decide whether the hero signs taste better. Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's! There's even a great big house in the middle, too! Huh. But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Paimon can't do that! Well, you're the one with the sword anyway! Still, why is it so empty here? Oh, wait a second. What is that?
О, а как тут нахуй строить? Что тут делать? Что надо делать?
Строить, что хочешь, то и строй.
Вот у меня какой-то домик.
Размещай там своих сокомандников. Что хочешь, то и делай. Поверь мне, у меня есть один друг, он прям в этом режиме только и зависает строительство.
Да?
Там, да, не шучу, вот Керри, он постоянно. Как только что-то откроется, о, что-то новенькое, и часа 5-6 его нету в игре. Потом он мне пишет и говорит, я достроил. Пишет, а у своего голос, как я не знаю, как пропитого алкаша. Я ему захожу, а там столько всего нафигачено, что я сижу и думаю, а ты точно профессию ту выбрал? Вот тебе надо в дизайнера было пойти. Не, реально, он клево строит.
Так, а как тут строить? В менюшку надо заходить?
Там специальное меню чайника вроде типа того. Там на L1 нажимаешь, и кажется, крестик надо нажать. Вроде так.
Дерево получил, елки какие-то получил.
Ну там надо в своем мире добывать ресурсы. Камень бить, дерево рубить.
А как начинать строить?
Ну, L1 и крестик надо нажать, и все. Вроде бы так. И там надо выбирать, что хочешь построить.
А как крестик куда? А, вот, X. А, вторая менюшка открылась. Откроется после завершения задания чайник. Глава 2. Я сейчас нихуя не могу соответствовать чайникам.
Да?
Угу, только могу. Только награды могу позабирать. Понял.
Ну, хотя бы так.
Угу. Чайник доступный. Руководство тут доступно. Надо изучить все новое. Так, тут что у нас? Чайник, глава 2. О, рыбалку. Давай. А, нельзя задать задание в совместном режиме. В каком совместном режиме?
А ты просто выйди из чайника и все.
А как выйти из чайника?
Карту открой и...
А, вернуться в одиночный режим?
Ага.
Чайник, вон, безместие. Одиночный режим. А, вот. Открыть. Лие переместились. Так. Давай теперь на рыбалку сходим. А, это чайник постоянно будет мне облачное море запрашивать?
Да.
Это я точно на рыбалку пошел? Что там не то, блядь.
А там надо сначала с мужиком каким-то поговорить, он тебе даст парочку наживок и отправит тебе поймать парочку рыбу. И все.
Ну вот меня где-то послала, ну-ка. 3000 километров? Это что за задание? Поговорите с Катериной в Монштадте. А чё? А, это да, надо с Катериной перепозарить. В Монштадте. А чё? Монштадт. Где тут Монштадт? Хм, странно. Поговорить с Катериной в Монштадте надо. Ну, я только открыл этот чайник, походу. Там я еще не могу ничего делать.
Да, чуть позже поднимешь уровень и спокойно можешь его там строить.
Куда-то мне надо. А, вот, кому-то гусю она отправила меня. Да, гусь какой-то рыбу ловит. Сейчас дам пизды, заберу удочку, походу.
Да, там он тебе парочку наживок даст и отправит куда-то рыбачить.
А это событие, да?
Не совсем событие, это просто задание.
Да, где-то отправил этот гусь. Походу где-то ловить, да?
Да, там где-то надо поймать парочку желтых рыбок каких-то.
Блять, что это за хуйня-то? А вон гусь какой-то стоит. О, рыбалка открыта у меня. Удочку дали. И шо, как ловить тут?
Не сложно там ловить.
А, рыбалка, на кухне нажать. Блять, рыбка съебалась, слышишь?
Но там надо не сильно дергать.
Да шо, я ж не тянул, ты чё гонишь? Бля, это бред какой-то. А, вот так надо вытягивать. Бля, да это пиздец. Я понял. Ебать.
If there's nothing better to do, we could go
Ну, давай еще раз. Это и специально наживку надо, походу?
Да? Не покупать, можно ее делать самому.
С рыболовом каким-то что-то. У каждого вида рыб есть более сильные ценные образцы, которые называются секретными, с которым возвращается такая рыба, имеет более яркий эффект. Инвентарь, как ее изготовить?
На химическом станке.
А так не могу себе тут поставить рыбу.
В
инвентаре не могу изготовить червяков, нихуя.
Не, у химического только.
Это где этот гусь?
Ну, в Манштате там
Химия?
есть... Да.
Понятно.
Там, по-моему, за один раз 10 штук можно сделать.
Так, сейчас перезагрузим. Фон, блядь. Там, походу, нихуя серьезно такое. Походу, нихуя серьезно не надо, да? Поймайте декоративную рыбу в горах. Буревестник. Бля.
Да, там есть одно место для рыбалки, по-моему.
А вот какое-то.
Ладно, Алик, я, наверное, уже пойду отдыхать. Ладно, Алик, давай до завтра.
Да.
Ну, если что, пиши в WhatsApp, я помогу.
Добро.
Давай до завтра тогда. Приятной игры.
На связи, да. Да что ты будешь, ну пиздец. Блять, такая хуйня нахуй. Таймик надо угадать, что я не понял.
What a shame. Let's try again. Don't give up.
Я ж нихуя не въебу нахуй, блять. Заебала нахуй. Шляпа нахуй.
What a shame. Let's try
Да
again.
ёбаный ты пидорас, блять. Что так все тяжко в натуре нахуй? Це на нахуй, що ти пиздиш таку рибку маленьку. Блять, не хочу. Що таке нахуй?
Don't give up. You'll get the hang of it.
Съебала нахуй. Долбоёб придумал якийсь, блять. Так що таке? Це вже ж... Пиздец, прикинь. Як її витягувати? Я ж не понял, ніхуя тут.
You've got it! You got it!
Ебать, я
earned yourself
понял.
a new title, Favonius Fish Catching Extraordinaire.
Stand with me! Ha! Blade! Do your worst!
These look surprisingly useful.
Бля, десь коментарі пишуть на YouTube, я не бачу їх прочитати. У мене тут не отображаються. Блядь, може, щоб настройка включена? Ти не можеш? А, ти граєш. Коментарі не отображаються на YouTube, пиздец. Тут видно вроді, що ти пишеш.
Boba, get them! Out of the frying pan, into the fire! Boba, get them!
Чё за бред, а? Стільки коментарів, блядь. 40 коментарів нахуй на ютубе, блядь. А прочитать их не можу, нахуй. Какие нахуй сообщения? Все сообщения. То есть, блядь, вообще пизда как-то. Ну а шо в настройках, блядь, да подключено?
Nice and spicy!
58 коментарі. Де вони, блядь? Пиздец, блядь. Що за подпиздайка там? З цим ютубом, блядь.
Race you!
Flee! Ha! Cha! Cha! Ha! Cha! Yield! Cha! Do your worst! Cha! Cha!
The pitch black whale inhabiting the outer sea depths.
Что ж это за опыт, блядь? Че я не вижу сообщений, блядь?
I can't decide whether pyro slimes taste better with salt and
A huge statue. A grandiose cathedral.
Чё за хуйня?
The people of Mondstadt clearly spent a great deal of resources and
Там же
energy to
столько
construct
сообщений,
them.
а там, блядь.
But how aware of this was the Animo Archon on receiving this gift? And how much did he give back in return?
Faith doesn't ask for anything in return, though. Does it?
As long as the gods have a clear conscience about it all, there's nothing I can say about it.
Shh! We're about to enter the cathedral! Don't say anything bad about the Animal Archon! And actually, the Animal Archon is... never mind!
I never specifically said I would enter the cathedral. I'll leave you two to mingle with the sisters.
Huh?
You are the honorary knight of Mondstadt. They will surely allow you to poke into these affairs with their utmost trust. Having me tag along would only make them suspicious.
Комментарий не можу прочитать, блядь. Що за хуйня, блядь? Да вон на ютубе, дивись, блядь. Тут куча сообщений, а тут, блядь...
Correct. And just as our little friend said, I might say something bad about the church at any time.
Там уже на плойке
When a
нахуярили,
non-believer
блядь.
steps onto holy
Вот
ground,
кучу
the result
сообщений, а тут
is
их
never
нема
pretty.
вообще.
I have never received the favor of the gods in the past. I don't see any reason I would
Не
need it now,
отображается, там уже
or in the
67
future
пишет
either.
сообщение, приходит в меню.
That's enough about that.
А тут не
While
ходишь.
we've been chit-chatting, the Abyss Order continues to act.
И сообщения у нас...
Okay,
Да я
then we'll just go in
шукал
ourselves
там.
and ask around.
I should warn you about one thing. Don't go mentioning the defiled... The
хуйня
Church of
постоянно
Favonius
слетает
wouldn't
какую-то
ignore the
хуйню.
matter of the statue. But if they rashly tried anything against the Abyss Order, it would only ruin whatever element of surprise we may
залупа, блядь?
have. Also, meddling in the affairs of the Abyss usually
Переключись
doesn't
на
end well for
Валика,
anyone.
Хорошо. Та де воно? От вибери, блядь. Это пиздец кисло. Та раніше якось було, і там приходить коментарі, тут собі на ютубі глянув, ага, подивився. Тож.
Тут що стоїть за цей?
Та хуй, ну, дивись. Ну, це... Угу. Угу. Да, да, що на оригінальному ютубі.
Honorary Knight! Hi, how have you been? Do you need anything today? But I should first make...
It seems she hasn't realized it's just an illusion.
Це на себе нажимаєш в мікрофон.
Oh, we're here to ask some questions about some...
What's that? Field tiller.
Диви, вже
What
7
does it do?
сообщений тільки що було.
Of course you wouldn't know anything about...
Huh? You're here to ask about that old story? Well, I didn't expect that.
Це мій.
That was such a long time ago, barely a long time ago. There nearly every member of in the church's records. Of course.
Nothing? Sorry, but...
Other strange stories. I'm not sure.
The Tyrant's final fury.
Oh, this refers to a time of great danger that engulfed old Mondstadt, the place now known as Storm
Пиздец,
Terror's lair. Many, many years ago, there was a time when balls of fire would rain from the sky whenever anyone approached old Mondstadt.
Да?
Balls of fire raining from the sky?
Коментарів не бачу.
How terrifying!
People at that time believed it was a curse laid down by the god of storms, so they referred to it as the tyrant's final fury. This strange phenomenon
Сейчас
continued
сделаем
for about a
по-другому
year.
тогда.